Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I have a what if story to present to you all that is absolutely adorable and a little bittersweet. Mightyclaws is the dragon that we don't get to see a ton of, but he's such an interesting character. He experienced a lot of trauma from his time in the Nightwing volcano and thought that it was unfair Moonwatcher was able to live away from it. What if Mightyclaws was sent to the Rainforest? How would things go differently, especially for him as a dragon? This idea was sent in by SimSam, and I love the idea I came up with for it. Thank you so much to the amazing DITZYBLUES for drawing the thumbnail and video art. It's marvelous in every way possible, and I couldn't be happier with the results. But before we begin, a huge shout out to my patrons. 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙁𝙊, Thistle, 𝙒𝙉𝙁𝙀, 𝙂𝙗𝙡, Avril, Pancake, 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙁𝙁, Adequin, and 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙁𝙀. Thank you all so much for supporting me. Links to their social medias are in the description down below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. Mightyclaws had never heard a more ridiculous idea in his entire life. Which, to be fair, was just a year of one so far, but he definitely had already done a lot of awesome things. When his mother had desperately approached him with the request to join a young Moonwatcher in the jungle, he immediately refused. How was it fair that he had to spend his time with a stuck-up hatchling? Especially one that stuffed her face with fresh fruit all day while he and everyone else on the island starved. "Mightyclaws, please," Loyalheart begged. Mommy is very sick, okay? I don't want the same to happen to you. If you went to the rainforest, that's the only way I'd know you're safe. You'd already have a friend, and Secret Keeper could check up on you if I can't." Mightyclaws heard as his mother let out a pained sigh. She put a towel into her ribs, rubbing her chest gently. He had seen the way she coughed, and how tears bubbled around her eyes with each sharpening breath. The volcano's air was hurting her from the inside, and had ever since she was young. Despite how she tried to hide her suffering, even the Nightwing Dragonette could tell it had gotten worse. "For how long?" he asked, frowning. His round blue eyes blinked up at Loyalheart. "I don't know," she answered truthfully. "I hope it's not forever, but I can't make that promise right now. All I ask is that you get away from here. I don't want you to become like me. Just spend some time in the rainforest, okay? It'll be better for you there. Give Moonwatcher a chance, even though I know she's not your real sister." "I don't really want to watch a baby," Mightyclaws started. "But if it'll make you feel better..." "Thank you," Loyalheart said through a whisper, hugging her child close. "I love you, Mighty. I'm sorry things are like this. I'll do everything I can to make it right." Mightyclaws rubbed his snout against his mother's smooth scales, taking in her embrace. Going to the rainforest, though? He'd always wanted a way off the volcano, but it would be so different, especially with someone to look after. But as the small Mightyclaws made his way through the tunnel, he caught a final glimpse of Loyalheart's smile. For a second, it flickered sadder than usual, and he wondered if he imagined the strain. Turning to face the increased darkness that greeted him, Mightyclaws stepped into his new world. One that would change everything. Thick droplets of rain poured down from the sky above. Mightyclaws hissed slightly as one landed directly on his nose, the feeling unfamiliar. The volcano only ever had ash storms, nothing this wet. He grumbled to himself as his scales grew soaked, water pooling down from the plants hanging above his head. The rainforest was loud, even though it was far past midnight. Crickets chirped in the distance, and frogs croaked songs of courtship. The air was misty and cold, causing him to shiver. The one good thing about his previous home is that it was usually warm, thanks to the lava that surrounded their buildings. Mightyclaws anxiously walked through the foliage. Loyalheart had told him that Moonwatcher's nest was near a small stream close to where he would enter. And, sure enough, he soon found where the baby Nightwing was sitting. A large stream of moonlight shone through a gap in the canopy, illuminating her dark scales. Mightyclaws immediately noticed the silver teardrops that were formed by each of her eyes, ones that were the color of the light leaves around her. They blinked up at him, curious. As Mightyclaws came closer, however, the dragonette began to cry. "Shh," he shouted, wobbling to her side. "I'm not your mom. I'm not the dragon you're expecting, so I'm not gonna cradle you until you stop." He flopped down beside Moonwatcher as she wailed, tail whacking the damp leaves furiously. My very presence already set her off, Mightyclaws thought with a groan. Why are stupid babies like this? It's not like I'm gonna hurt her. Be quiet, he snapped, waving her away. Aren't there jaguars around here? And I'm trying to sleep. Moonwatcher's cries paused for a moment, almost as though she understood his words. Then her lip quivered, causing the waterworks to return. Her tiny body let out shrill shrieks, talons bunched up and grabbing for someone who was not there. Mightyclaws grumbled under his breath, laying down on the wet ground. Fat tears continued to roll down Moonwatcher's cheeks, almost like the ones that stayed on her scales forever. I should not have said yes to this. Mightyclaws must have fallen asleep at some point, because before he knew it, his eyes were fluttering open. What time is it? He rolled over on his side, only to be met with Moonwatcher's curious face, mere millimeters from his own. She stood there, mouth wide open, gazing at the dragonette. Moon mumbled something only she could understand, before stepping away on stubby legs. Mightyclaws said, sitting up. Babies ever sleep? It reminded the Nightwing of what his mom would always say to him, her tone light and loving. Some of his earliest memories were ever hugs, and it hurt to fall asleep for the first time without her there. Moonwatcher stared at him for a few seconds before falling into a fit of giggles. What's so funny? Mighty asked, mostly to himself. His scowl of frustration only sent her laughing harder, and she tumbled to the jungle floor. The Nightwing Dragonette sighed, rubbing his forehead. Maybe Mom will come soon and tell me it was all a mistake, that I should come back. It's not like she's abandoning me, right? It's only for a little while, so the rest of the tribe can figure out how to save us. I want to be here, just not with her. I want to be with Mama. I wish she would experience this place with me. Mightyclaws knew his mother would adore the sights of the rainforest. In his brief time of staring up into the never-ending canopy, he saw birds soaring overhead. Every plant and flower was so beautifully colored, it was almost as though a dragon had painted them herself. Minus a baby in his face, this place was nice. Mighty swore she could read his mind, because the moment he thought of her, her head turned. She let out a small chirp, rubbing her belly. Huh? Oh, she's probably hungry. She likes fruit that much, why can't she just live with the Rainwings? She practically was born as one of them anyways. It's not fair that she never got to get stuck on the volcano. Moonwatcher's eyes turned sad, head tilting forward. Mightyclaw sighed, shaking his head. She was really good at making him feel bad, he realized. Fine, he said, rolling his eyes. We'll go get some food. It may be a while before Mama comes anyway. Moonwatcher smiled, letting out a short babble of a language only infancy could comprehend. She trotted alongside him cheerfully as the Nightwing left the grass nest, scanning the treetops. So, what do you normally eat here? Mightyclaws asked. Moon only blinked at him silently. On the volcano, all we had were the leftovers of dragon's catches. I guess I've never really tried anything else. I don't really know how to hunt, so you're gonna have to settle for fruit. Mighty swore Moon gave a small nod, though that was impossible. She was too young to understand anything he was saying. He mostly spoke aloud because he was lonely, and wished the words were going to his mother's ears. She'll come back. She will. She said she hopes she could. Moonwatcher interrupted him from his thoughts with a loud chirp. A chubby hand pointed at a low-hanging piece of fruit in front of them. Mightyclaws stared as she waddled toward it, plucking it from where it was attached. Once reached, Moon plopped down by the Nightwing's side, pawing at the food. She smiled widely, likely hoping for praise. Huh, Mightyclaws said, peeling the dragon fruit. Good job, I guess. It was enough for her, because she continued beaming as she let her head fall on Mightyclaws' leg. She snuggled up against him, waiting for food. It was adorable in a way he had never seen before. Was this how 𝙈𝙁𝙁𝙁 felt when he was a little younger? Were moments like this everything to her? I guess she'd like it if I was nice to you for now, he thought, handing Moon a piece of dragon fruit. This does look pretty good, so I'll give her that credit. Mightyclaws placed the piece of food in his own mouth, letting out a soft gasp as he took in the sweetness of the food. 3 moons, you really do have good taste, he said, eating the rest. Moon giggled, gnawing on her own half. The dragon fruit in its entirety was the size of her small body, and he wondered how on Pyria she was downing that much of a portion. Soon satisfied, Moonwatcher let out a tiny burp. A flicker of a flame shot out from her mouth as she did so, causing Mighty to laugh. Okay, she's kind of cute after all. Oh, moons, he realized suddenly. My mama is probably waiting at the nest if she's back from the volcano already. Moonwatcher, we need to head to the nest so she isn't scared. Moon chirped, almost as though she were in agreement. She stood on wobbly, untrained legs and headed back to the nest with her companion. Mightyclaws' eyes slowly adjusted to the light now pouring in from above, the daytime sun more unforgiving than he could have expected. However, it did not distract the Nightwing from the emptiness that greeted him at the nest. His mother was nowhere to be found. Maybe she's busy, Mightyclaws muttered. Moon babbled in response, sniffing around her leaf bed. Not even her mother had been here, he guessed. Mighty secretly could not bear to see the frown that now spread across Moon's small face, so he tried to focus elsewhere. Well, I guess we have a whole rainforest to explore until Mama gets back. What do you usually do out here for fun? Moon just mumbled nonsense. Right. Baby has no idea what I'm talking about or how I'm feeling. Can she even have fun? Did she even realize she was lonely here before? Mightyclaws ran through ideas to keep her entertained, when, suddenly, he thought of a genius one. Well, we never really had many art supplies back home, but I've heard older Nightwings talk about fruits and berries before, so maybe we could use their juices to color something. I really like to draw however I can. My room back on the volcano is full of chalk pieces and art everywhere. I wish I could show you some. I think you'd like them. Moonwatcher smiled, eyes wide with excitement. Yeah? You want to go find some fruit to smash? She cooed, nearly jumping with delight. Well, all right then, Mightyclaws said, beaming. I guess this could be fun. Finding food out here was so much easier than back home. There were bushes of berries sitting untouched by dragon claws. They weren't even rotten or someone else's. They were his. Mightyclaws blended them up with his talons, creating separate leaf cups of colors. Blue and red liquid sloshed in each, being partially absorbed by the plant. Still, enough remained for him to stick his claw into after squeezing their contents. Okay, he began, poking a talon into the blueberry goop. Mightyclaws gently put his talon on a tree trunk, doodling shapes. While doing so, he realized they almost resembled a tiny dragon, and modified his art to be like Moon. She was his muse, mouth wide in astonishment at what Mighty was creating. After a few minutes, his wobbly yet carefully crafted piece was complete. A little Nightwing dragonette was drawn in blue, a peaceful smile on her face. Moon clapped in awe, giggling. She looked over at the leaf bowls before sticking her entire claw into the red. Making noises of delight, Moonwatcher scribbled her own art beneath Mighty's. They were purely blobs of red talon prints, but they were beautiful. The kind of creation only possible by a baby's mind. Well, Mightyclaws said, smiling. I'd say we both did pretty good. Moon squealed happily, rubbing the raspberry goop on the Nightwing dragonette's leg. Hey, he yelped with mock offense. My scales are just fine black, thank you. She erupted into another peal of giggles, legs no longer being able to support her. Mightyclaws joined in, rubbing blue on her tail. You asked for it. The duo did not even notice as the sun fell, too busy laughing and playing in the spilled materials. Moon's tired eyes slowly drooped closed, her efforts to keep herself awake failing. Mighty giggled softly, carrying her into his own small arms. "Well, I guess you can ride on my back to the nest." He gently slid her so that she was settled snugly between his wing blades. Mighty felt her soft breasts land on his back and neck, chest rising and falling comfortably. He slowly made his way back to their makeshift beds, careful of his precious cargo. Once back home, Mightyclaws had laid her out on the canopy leaf and smiled at her slumbering form. If only I always got to sleep like that, he thought to himself with a hint of solemnity. The volcano was always so loud, fissures hissing and dragons grumbling. He would wake up often in the night, only able to be calmed down from the ashy haze by his mother's soothing words. Mightyclaws sighed, rolling onto his own bed. He stared up at the stars for the first time ever. Smoke had always obscured the heavens back home, and now he stared at the constellations with marvel. I wonder if a dragon artist created these in the sky, Mighty thought quietly. I'd like to think someone did. Maybe she even drew and colored every piece of this rainforest, and decorated on Moonwatcher's teardrop scales. If there was someone like that, living up above, maybe she could see my mama. Maybe she could make sure she's safe. I don't really think she's coming back, though. Not anymore. We've never been apart for this long. I can't believe I've already slept through a night without her. Mightyclaws sniffled, the sound nearly silent. Tears began to form at the edges of his eyes. I miss you, Mama. I don't think you're okay. Can I be alright without you? Without notice, Moonwatcher's head suddenly bumped against Mightyclaws' arm. He lifted his head slightly to see her wiggling in closer, eyes filled with too much understanding. Do you miss your mama too? He asked quietly. Moon let out a soft chirp, climbing onto the Nightwing's chest. Before curling up into a ball, she let her gaze meet his. Then, satisfied, she settled, letting out a small noise of contentment. Within seconds, she was asleep again, soaking up Mighty's warmth. Well, Mama, if you're out there, I think you'd be one of the dragons in the sky. Maybe you're looking down on me and painting new stars up above for me to see someday out here. It's a new kind of home. I'm glad I'm not alone for it, even though I wish you were here too. Moonwatcher is pretty cute, so I guess you were right about everything. I can't imagine staying on the volcano another day in my life, and I hope I never have to. I just want to see your face one last time, even if it is a painting on a tree. I'll do that tomorrow with Baby Moon. I think she'd like to see you. Maybe her mama will come to check on us, since I don't think I can do this alone. I hope she does. But no matter what, I have a little sister to guide me through it. She seems to know more than she should, more than I ever could. I wonder what she's gone through out here already. All I know is that she'll never go through another day alone, and neither will I. I don't have you to fall asleep next to, but I do have this soft weight on my chest. Literally. And I think I like it. Mama, you'd like her. I know you would. As Mightyclaws let his eyes slip closed, he took in every scent and sound of the rainforest. For the first time since he had arrived there, it brought him comfort, thanks to the sleeping dragonet on top of him, and the way she already changed how he saw the world. She and his mother would forever be his muse. And that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed what I put together for this, and I had a blast writing it. Baby Moon is too cute. What do you guys think? What was your favorite part? Let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.